Yo, welcome back to Tyrion Cuthbert. Last time we did the whole investigation for the tree murders, or tree people that were murdered. It seems like Arya has had her mind was controlled during the time of the murder, and she was like controlled into murdering some of the people, maybe all of them, question mark? It's unclear. We have a lot of evidence, and there's a lot of moving parts in this murder, so the exact details are a bit fuzzy for now. But that seems to be the general idea. When I left off, I was supposed to convince Arya to let us defend her. Oh, there you go. I was supposed to because Arya right now, she wants to just stay in prison forever because she's scared that whoever did this to her will mind control her again and like will make her kill people she loves if she escapes. So she doesn't even want to like try to get acquitted. We have to argue with her. And last time I failed the argument and the game just soft locked. So I had to redo the entire investigation. I'm back here. I saved here. So if it soft locks again, I can just reload the save. But yeah, let's do the argument. I've already done this first part. Yep. The villain controlled my mind. This was the one that she wanted, right? Nope, never mind, I forgot. It's the middle one. Yep, okay. Oh yeah, this was the one that I couldn't do. The person responsible was just a sadistic killer. So she wants evidence that whoever did this had some sort of motive and they weren't just trying to kill everyone. And I was very annoyed by this because I feel like there are so many pieces of evidence that prove that. Like, I mean, I already went through the list last time. I'm not going to do it again. But there's multiple things that prove that, and just all the ones I tried didn't work. And I don't remember which one I tried and which one I didn't. But I guess I'll just go through these again. I think I tried this. Is it that we're alive? Is it that she didn't kill us? Nope. I mean, I think that's pretty good evidence, because he was murdered in the exact same room as us. So surely the killer would have just murdered us as well if we were there, but okay. I feel like I just have to try everything, because this doesn't... I feel like this doesn't make any sense, but... The fact that we saw Beatrice? Nope. Probably gonna fail this again. I already tried this. Did I try this? Okay, well, that's not it. I tried this, right? I feel like that's pretty good evidence that they weren't just a sadistic killer, because they went out of their way to dispose of the body. But okay, and I failed again, and it's soft locked again. Yeah, okay, so this is a consistent issue, and I can't. Okay, so I have to return to title, and I have to load. Okay, and I'm back here. Okay, this might take a while. Start argument. Yes. All right. Doubt. The person responsible was just a sadistic killer. Okay, what could it even be that I haven't presented yet? Is it this? Is it because they used Shape Liquid to kill Pierce when they could have used other spells? Nope. Is it this? The fact that they like tricked Pierce into sending the letter to the wrong person or whatever? Nope. Okay, I have no idea what it would possibly be. I feel like I've presented everything that makes any sense. I feel like I just have to go down the list now, because I don't... It's not any of the autopsy reports. I tried this. I have tried this, right? Just checking. Okay, I did. This? What? That's not true, Stillman. Whoever did this had very specific targets in mind. Well, Prince Alaric and the High Speaker saw you and the murders were being committed. Not to mention, they set a trap for Aster. This is so fucking stupid, dude. I hate that. I hate that so much. There are so many other pieces of evidence that prove the same thing. Why is it only this specific evidence that does that? Okay, whatever. I just really hate that. What? Let's assume that someone was controlling you. They wouldn't have left Elaric, Arceus, or Aster alive if they were trying to cause as much suffering as possible. They also wouldn't have... They would have killed all the knights instead of just making them comatose. I suppose you have a point there, but even so, that hardly narrows things down. If someone were controlling me, they wouldn't need to enter the cathedral to use me. The perpetrator didn't need to enter the cathedral to commit their murders. They did, because there was a barrier around the entire cathedral. Perhaps you're right, and the perpetrator only wanted to murder the 3 victims. There's plenty of people who might want to see those 3 dead. Where is that? I know that was said, but I don't know which piece of evidence that is. I know for a fact this was said. The prayer room. Is this not in any of these? Do you want me to just present the spell itself? I actually don't know what spell was used. But it was definitely said, right? That has to be what it wants from me. She lost consciousness soon after. This isn't the same. The room being soundproof isn't the same as this trap hole being like magically sealed or whatever, right? Okay, none of these pieces of evidence talk about this, so I don't know what you want me to present. Do you want me to present the map of the cathedral? That's the only thing I can think of. Nope. Soft locked again, can't do anything. Back to title. Man, this is really fun. Alright. Alright, out. Present this for some reason. Why do I feel like this one isn't gonna make any sense either? I need to go through this spell list real quick. Where's Cage? Oh, is it gonna be that because? Is it gonna be that because they put the glyph of contingency on like the casket or whatever, wherever the king's body was, the fact that they put this on the body means that they must have been there. Is that what we're saying? What a piece of evidence says that? Dude, we have too much evidence. I don't even know. Where was the trap? The trapped king. Yeah, this. Okay, no, this one's fine. This one was my bad. I should have known. Okay, this one was fine. There's one thing you're overlooking. Before the murder started, someone trapped Aster within a force cage using Glyph of Contingency. But it didn't harm him, it was probably just a distraction. Even so, this gives us two very important clues. The first is that whoever did this was capable of casting these two spells. This means that the perpetrator was either a mage or working with one. That's true. But the second clue is the most important one. Whoever set that trap for Aster, they did so within 24 hours of the triggering. Yeah, because the glyph only lasts for 24 hours. The Grand Cathedral was closed to the public. This means that the perpetrator must have been someone who attended the funeral. So was one of them? That narrows down our list of suspects substantially. There's a chance we can identify who did this, and if they really did control your actions, we can find a way to prevent them from doing so again. Stillwind, you need to fight this. I can't. Why not? Fighting this will put people in danger. If we pursue an individual like this, they might retaliate even more than they already have. They wanted to remove me from my position. How will I react if I try to resist? They might hurt even more people to send a message. It's far too dangerous. Appeal. We can't back down in the face of injustice. If we let the perpetrators get away with this, we're letting them know that their actions will go unanswered. Maybe. I doubt someone like that would go that far. They might decide to lie low and wait for things to die down. Okay, it's definitely not that. Whoever did this had a goal far bigger than you, and you have no guarantee that they'll stop here. Who will they target next? Your father? The king? Okay, it's probably this one, right? Yeah. Whoever did this had a goal far bigger than you, and you have no guarantee that they'll stop here. 3 nobles died today, and 2 of them were near the top of the political hierarchy. What if they decide to go after more victims? Who will they target next? Your father? The king? We need to catch them before they can do more harm. I know you're frightened about what might happen to the people close to you, but we can't let someone this dangerous get away with this. We did it. Sigh, when you put it that way, I suppose I have no other choice, do I? I never realized it before, Mr. Cuthbert. What? You really have a bad habit of butting your nose into other people's businesses, don't you? That's his whole deal. Yeah, I suppose I do. But you're right, we can't let this go. I'll find a way to dispute this, somehow. Thank you, Mr. Cuthbert. Just wear like a straitjacket when you go to court to make sure you don't get mind controlled again. I think we've known each other long enough. You don't need to be so formal. I successfully persuaded Arya Stillwind. Oh, was he watching all of that? I know I agreed to fight this, but... What is it? You're the most qualified attorney in the nobility. You'll definitely be able to make a case for yourself. As you probably know, House Sybil controls the legislative and judicial branches of our kingdom, and they've nominated my father as the prosecutor for my trial. What? My theory of mind control is not substantiated by the evidence. Yeah, also, by the way, it is what I said. I forgot his name, sorry. Lucio is going to be the prosecutor. And we can't blame another kingdom's magic because of that. My theory of mind control is not substantiated by evidence. I mean, you can't. You can, just like... It's just not very... Doesn't sound very convincing. Everyone believes that I overspent my magic and gave myself mage blood. Do they? I feel like everyone we talked to agreed that that wasn't what happened. As a result, they blame House Stillwind for the Minister of Justice's death. Now, the only way for him to redeem House Stillwind is to convict me and sentence me to death. But he's your father. There's no way he would... I mean, he already killed his wife, right? So, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. Yeah. When I was a child, my mother accidentally overused her magic and induced mage blight within herself. In her resulting psychotic episode, she massacred an entire village of commoners. Scared Lord. House Stillwind almost lost everything after that. To redeem himself, my father personally oversaw my mother's trial and their execution. That's what happened? My father values his duty to Warvengard over everything else. Nothing matters more to him than that, not even his family. I like to have confidence in myself, but I don't know if I can face him like this. Don't worry, I'll do it. Mr. Cuthbert, what is your stake in all this? What? You hate the nobility, don't you? So why are you so intent on helping Miss Stillwind? Because she's innocent. What else is there to say? Mr. Cuthbert, it doesn't matter if she's a noble or a commoner. She's being oppressed by the politics of her kingdoms like all of my other clients. Well said. What? I, Remus Virgile, hereby grant you the privilege to serve as Miss Stillwind's counsel. Do you have the right to do that? As the royal visor, I'll be acting as the judge and arbiter of Miss Stillwind's trial. Oh, you'll be the judge? Okay. It is within my right to grant you such permissions. Okay, I said this guy looked evil when I first saw him, but this would be a really weird thing to do if you were the killer. So you're probably innocent. I gladly accept. If Prosecutor Stillwind will have me. Of course, there's no one else I would trust more with this. Although, it would be kind of like a typical thing to do to have the judge be the killer in the final case. That would be a very... I mean, no spoilers, but that would be a very Ace Attorney thing to do. And please, you've done a lot for me already. You don't have to be so formal. Halista's already taken to calling me by my first name. But since you'll be defending me, you'll probably need this. Area Spell Compendium. Are you still in Spells Compendium? Contains formulas for the following spells. Men Wounds, Firebolt, Shape Liquid, Spell Magic. Dispel magic. Still when strike, detect magic, polymorph, and hold creature. Firebolt. The caster launches a fire projectile that's hot enough to inflict 3rd-degree burns. This projectile can travel 120 feet, Jesus, without collision before its magic dissipates. Okay, this is what was used on Lloyd. Once it collides with something, it will set the object ablaze if it's flammable. Hold creature. The caster completely restricts the movement of the target. While concentrating on the spell, the target will be unable to move at any part of their body. Even subtle movements, such as gestures required to cast certain spells, are impossible. Interesting. Okay, so you couldn't, like, move your mouth to say something, right? You couldn't, like, vibrate your throat to make noise come out, so you couldn't cast anything. As a result, the target will also be unable to move their mouth to speak. Oh yeah, there we go. Although I guess there are spells that don't require to say anything, or don't require any movement, so you could cast those. Still Wind Strike. Okay, this is your own... You have a spell named after you. The caster strikes the targets of their choice within a 40-foot radius with a slashing force. Each slash has the might and power of a mage blade and can cut through thick metal armor. It's the ultimate spell of Hostile Wind, and the spell form is a closely guarded secret. Wait, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Okay, so you're like slashing them with a magical blade, like that comes out of thin air. Okay, that's how I'm imagining it. Polymorph. The caster transforms a target within 30 foot of them into an animal. Okay, this is interesting. The animal can be any creature that can fit within the 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot cube. For the duration, the target's senses and intellect will also be changed to match that of the animal they're transformed into. Wait, that's fucking scary. Your intellect is also reduced? So you die, basically, while the spell is active. How long is it active? I need to see any evidence. The spell magic choose any magical effect within 120 feet. The spell that is creating that effect immediately ends, unless the target spell is immune to being dispelled. Okay, what spells are immune to being dispelled? Is there a list? However, this only ends the spell's effect if it does not undo the effect of the spell. Sure. For example, dispelling a shape liquid and an affected liquid will only prevent the caster from further manipulating the liquid. It will not unfreeze the liquid or change its shape back to normal. Okay, that's a very minute distinction. Burial. So, I'm just curious, like, when Lucio was trying to get Aster out of the trap, why didn't he just use Dispel Magic on the Force Gauge? Is it immune to this spell? Maybe. Or does he just not know the spell? Okay, this only lasts for 1 hour. Okay. Okay, what is the difference between the point index finger at the target and the point at the target? How is that different? Does that mean you could point with something other than your finger? You could point with, like, a branch or something? You could point with your fist? Point at the target. Point index finger at the target. They're making a distinction between the two. It's interesting. Does this require concentration? It doesn't. Okay, so you could just cast this on someone and forget about them. This seems kind of overpowered, but... okay. Okay. Then it's settled. We will hold the trial at my home, the city of Leyden. Leyden? Speak with Lucio. He knows the location well. Before I could ask any more questions, our Archduke left without a word. He really had a bad habit of just walking away from conversations. Who is he? I didn't even know Archdukes existed in the Wyvern Guard. Today was the first time I met him as well. Okay, that's suspicious. I'm just as confused as you are. He seems to be well acquainted with my father, though. He was in the scene we saw after chapter 1, right? Where all the heads of all the houses were talking to each other. I think he was in that scene. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. He's just like any other judge. Is he? I had no idea what I was in for when I agreed to this. And what proceeded next would be unlike any trial I'd ever defended or prosecuted. But I would save Aria's future no matter what it took. Regardless of what I'd have to risk to do so. That's ominous. Oh, okay. Tyrion. We're definitely lost. We followed the Grand General's direction to the leather. We were expecting to arrive at some sort of noble estate or convention hall. Instead, we found ourselves in the ruins of a long forgotten city. Well, he said this was going to be a secret trial, right? So it makes sense that it would be in, like, an abandoned city, I guess. The grass was overgrown, moss was growing around the ruins. It looked like no one had lived here for centuries. I double-checked everything. The map even has that giant tree north of here. This can't be the city of Leyden that Virgil mentioned. It doesn't look like anyone's lived here in centuries. Wait a minute. Did he give us the wrong location on purpose? Grand General. Enough gawking. The trial will commence shortly. He wasn't alone either. The division of the King's Guard was marching behind him, forming a perimeter around Arya. It was difficult to tell if she was their liege or the prisoner. A grey luminous sphere was centered on the prosecutor, following her as they made their way to one of the ruins. What is that? It had the same color as most abjuration spells. It must have been an anti-magic field. Okay. So this is where we'll be hosting a trial? Yes, the Archduke could never bring himself to stray far from this place for too long. Why did you say Archduke in parentheses, in like quotes? Is he not really the Archduke? I thought a normal courtroom would be large enough anyway. What? Kingsguard, bring the prisoner to the temple. I will have words with Mr. Cuthbert, alone. That includes you, McCoy. I'm not leaving you alone with him. Celeste, it's fine. I agree with Celeste. You shouldn't leave. He could just murder us right now. But I can handle him. You can't. Just stay close by. Her jaws tightened as she shifted around uneasily. Nevertheless, she stepped aside without any objections. No wonder she's so insubordinate. You keep such a loose leash around her. What do you want, Lucio? The Archduke allowed you to serve as prosecutor Stillman's attorney. Why? I guess I earned his trust somehow. Cuthbert, do you remember what I told you after Draken's trial? You're now going to be my agent. Yeah, you didn't do anything. You didn't make us do anything. What? There will come a day when I will acquire your skills and abilities. The Eye of Radiance is too powerful a weapon for me to squander. I imagine it will be of great use to me. You will now be acting on my orders. If you think I'd even consider trying the trial for, I'll come at you with everything I have. Use your Eye of Radiance. Use every trick Tamora taught you. No matter who lies before you, cut them down. I will not accept victory without a proper fight from you. Okay, Goku. So what is this to you? Some kind of duel? Your daughter's life hangs in the balance, Lucio. Follow my orders, I'll have you executed. I just glared at him as he made his way towards the temple. What the fuck is this? The rooms were filled with the nobles who were at the Grand Cathedral that day. This temple was ancient, it was basically falling apart. Moss had grown into every crevice, insects were crawling everywhere. I even spotted a few rats at some point. The nobles were present. It looked like they wanted to flee as far from this place as possible, but the Kingsguard blocked anyone trying to leave. They're forced to attend? Oh, look at him. The Grand General's expression was blank but focused. He was acting like nothing was out of the ordinary. He had taken his position at the opposite end of the room. It seemed that he truly planned on prosecuting his daughter. Thank you all for coming here today. I appreciate your cooperation with our investigation. Why you brought us here? This place is disgusting. What happens here today must be kept away from prying eyes. I hope I don't need to remind you that whatever happens here today must never be discussed. But nevertheless, I welcome you all to my home. Wait, you live here? I do. Your Grace, is this really what you wish to do? Your Grace. Is he like secretly the king or something? There will be no going back after this. What? I've made many mistakes in my lifetime. I gave Warvengard the means to protect themselves, but it grew bitter when seeing what I created. Are you the dragon? Are you fucking Bahamut? I thought my best course of action was to stay in isolation and leave Warvengard to fend for itself. I see now what a fool I was. I abandoned my kin to survive in an unjust world, and now foreign powers have ingrained themselves in my kingdom, all because of my negligence. Foreign powers? Do you still suspect me of being an agent of the theocracy? Well, no more. It's time that the people of Warvengard and their enemies remember who watches over them. He raised his hand, magical light gathering in his palm. The room began to shake more violently with every moment. Is he just going to kill everyone? It was as if he were commanding an earthquake. I normally couldn't sense aether like dust in the aster, but even I could feel the massive energy in the room coalescing around him. What's going on? Several nobles in the gallery screamed out in terror. Some fell to the ground. Whatever spell he was casting was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. Why are the guards going along with this? A blinding light flooded into the room. I had to shield my eyes. But as the light faded, I finally saw it. I finally saw him in his true form. Oh, he is Bahamut! Okay. What? It's a dragon. The gallery broke out into hysteria. Some of them kneeled in reverence to the ancient dragon. Some simply fell to the ground and cowered. I even saw some of them attempt to flee before they were shoved back by the knights guarding the exits. He has the animation, the objection animation. Occupation, scale lord, age 1203. Okay. This may not be a court, but I will have order. An ancient dragon. No, you're the last ancient dragon. That is correct, Heavensborn. I'm the first Lord of Warvengard and descendant of the God of War. I'm Ratalion, the Scaled Lord. Okay, Ratalion, not Bahamut, my bad. I forgot the names. The Scaled Lord and the creator of all arcane magic. I'd only known from legends until this moment. I can hardly believe that ancient dragons actually exist. Remus Virgile is an alias I assume when I walk amongst your kind. Until now, only the Lords of House Stillwind and the Kings of Warvengard have known my true identity, but I will hide no longer. Okay. My will alone will determine how this trial ends. According to these legends, dragons can't die of old age. Presumably, he'd still be alive. I wouldn't be surprised. Despite everything, the kingdom includes him in her constitution. Yeah, when I first read this, I thought you were the dragon. Wait, really? As a savior of a kingdom, he and his kin were given an honorary position in our kingdom. The Scaled Lord made Warvengard what it is today. He was given authority that befits such a legacy. Yeah, he can do this. You're the only individual with the authority to convict any and all of the nobles here. Make no mistake, Mr. Cuthbert. I will remain impartial regardless of what transpires here. I will not interfere in this trial, nor will I try to manipulate its outcome. I will only mediate its proceedings, and pass judgment when necessary. Even in my human form, I have always had the strength of an ancient dragon. Well, that's certainly terrifying. Now then, with introductions out of the way, shall we proceed? Sure, Judge. Of course, Your Grace. The prosecution is ready. Did the area know about this? Dragons aside, this was like any other trial. Sure, man. The defense is also ready. I'm sure we are all thoroughly aware of why we've gathered here, but for the sake of doing this properly, could you please list the charges, Lucio? The defendant, Aristillone, is charged with several counts of manslaughter. Her victims include many knights from the King's Guard who remain unresponsive. Like, I guess you count those as victims, I guess, if they're still unresponsive. And of course there's Laud von Sanctus and Corlin Sybil, the Duke of Commerce and the Minister of Justice, respectively. What is this farce? This trial has been over before it began. Lady Sylvan clearly overestimated herself. Even a child knows to be aware of mage blood. No, don't you see? This is Bahamut's judgment. The divine powers that be clearly think she's unfit to rule at the king's side. Might I remind the court of my own testimony? I witnessed Beatrice Frigga enter the prayer room before I lost consciousness. Isn't it suspicious that this occurred around 15 minutes before Pierce's death? Objection! You're angry. You only caught a glimpse of her. You don't know if it was someone else disguising an illusion. Yeah, he's right. That could be the case. You didn't even speak to her. That's all the more reason to call her to the stand to explain herself. She has already testified that she has no memories of what transpired during the massacre. There's no need to drag this out any longer than necessary, Cuthbert. Our client has a right to a fair trial, and Beatrice's involvement clearly implies some greater plot. Is he just gonna say that every time? Enough, I find Mr. Cuthbert's request to be reasonable. I agree that Lady Frigga's actions are quite suspect. I wonder if we're gonna even have any other investigation, because it seems pretty final. Like, is the dragon gonna say, okay everyone, now go back to investigating, while all the nobles know that the dragon is real? Like, that seems like it would be kind of a big deal. Very well, let the defense have its battle. I only hope for his sake that this blade strikes true. Alright, man. Why is everything a combat metaphor with you? Beatrice. I'm glad you're safe, Mr. Cuthbert. You're not surprised by the dragon standing behind you? Not for lack of trying on your part. I have no memories of what I did. If I hurt you, I'm truly sorry. She actually looked pretty sincere, but it wasn't as if this were the first time she's lied to me. To be honest, I'm still a little doubtful about your memory loss. I'm not the only one who experienced it. Arya also lost her memories of what happened. And how would you know that? That's a good question. Regardless, if you truly have... Are we gonna let her not answer? Judge, do something? Regardless, if you truly have no memories of what happened, could you testify what you do remember? Very well. I like our Marinette just chilling here. I was with my sister and my guide, Eris Ilmather. Your guide? Huh. I was speaking with them in the garden when I suddenly fell ill and lost consciousness. You know what time that was? When I woke up, my sisters found me. They said that I had gone missing for over an hour. Where did they find you? I was confused, but when I later heard what happened, I realized that someone must have taken control of my body. I have no memory of what happened, and from what I understand, the same thing happened to Arya. And to make matters worse, there's nothing that indicates who may have controlled her actions. There is! The purple mark, right? There's something off about the way she was testifying. She was actually being a lot less vague than I was expecting. What was she doing? I'm gonna still press everything. Because she has a lot of very vague statements, I feel. Even though he said she was being direct, I don't agree. She's been missing since the massacre happened. I really hope she's okay. I'll make no mistake. She's definitely okay. What makes you so sure? Do you remember anything about what happened to her? No, but it's just a feeling. Enough about that peasant. Tell us what happens next. What happened next, Frigga? Is no one gonna ask any question about why she was even there, like, for the funeral? If they were with you, shouldn't your sisters have noticed this? According to Life and Miriam, the pred dog was running amok in the hallways. They left the witness with Ilmather to chase him down. And when the sisters returned to the garden, both Beatrice and Ilmather were gone. Okay. Do you remember anything after that? No, I really want to remember, but I can't. Okay. So she's getting like, I don't know what to call it. Like, censored by Eris right now. So I guess that's why she's not saying everything that she knows. And you have no memories of what happened? No, none at all. I can only imagine what I was forced to do while I was unconscious. Forced? What do you mean by that? So you're also saying that someone else controlled your body? Yes, it's the only explanation for why you saw me in the prayer room. Objection! Absolutely ridiculous. You're clearly spinning a fairy tale to absolve yourself. I had no reason to trust her, so why did I feel like something was wrong? Think what you will, but please believe me when I say. No memories of what happened. Your statement does match up with what happened to my client. But you clearly already knew what happened to her. You could just be using that knowledge to fabricate an alibi. Yes, Cuthbert, I know it doesn't mean much coming from me, but I am telling the truth. That remains to be seen. Okay, I guess he wants me to present the purple mark here. Objection! Yeah, okay. Why would she say something like that? The way she said it, it seems like she was baiting us into saying it. Because she even emphasized it, like she emphasized like there's nothing that proves it. It's like she can't say it, so she wants us to say it. I found the contradiction, but she might as well have dropped it into my hands, yeah. Beatrice, you said there's no indication of who orchestrated this. But there is one piece of evidence that does just that, albeit loosely. What would that be? This symbol. I pulled out the parchment that Arya gave me. It had the purple mark on it. Marinette, what are you doing? What's wrong? He's suppressing her connection. Connection? I can't actually see what you're trying to show me. Marinette, can you stop being petty and just let her see it? I don't take orders from you, Heavensborn. I wonder, Mr. Cuthbert, what is on that parchment? You see, Beatrice, Arya has been investigating a string of murders throughout the Barbarian Guard. These murders appear to be unrelated, despite how gruesome they are. But they all share one thing in common. This symbol was found on each and every crime scene. Objection! Don't tell me my daughter has roped you into her little conspiracy theory. Your mind control defense would be laughable if it weren't downright insulting. Granted, during the gap in Arya's memory, someone placed this mark in her pocket. There's clearly some sort of taunt from whoever orchestrated this. Nonsense, you clearly drew that symbol yourself during her psychotic episode. The exact same symbol that was at every other crime scene? I have to listen to her go on and on about her insane theory. I guess if she saw it so much, she could have just drawn it, like, because she was used to seeing it. She was obsessed with it. Yeah, okay. Mr. Cuthbert, aren't you curious about what just happened? What are you talking about? Think about it. I don't know why I said that. My apologies, I don't know why I said that. She wants us to catch on. Ugh. Frustration was rising with each word she said. Is everything okay? Yes, I'm perfectly fine. Anyways, it looks like you'll have to figure the rest out on your own. Figure out the rest on my own? Your Grace, these two are making a mockery of us by spouting these insane theories. The defense clearly has no case. End this at once. Considering what I know, I'd like to indulge this theory. The judge was finally giving me a chance for once. That was a first. The judge has been acting strangely since the trial began. It was suspicious, but not in a way that seems to implicate her. It's almost like she was intentionally trying to bring something to my attention. Yeah. I decided to pull on this thread a little. She had just asked me if I was curious about what just happened, but every time I asked her to elaborate, she said nothing. What event was Beatrice referring to? Her not being able to see the symbol, right? Whatever she was trying to draw my attention to, it had to be significant in some way. Marinette hid the purple mark from Beatrice. Marinette, he didn't allow Beatrice to see the purple mark. He'd only do that if Beatrice would recognize it normally. Why would Marinette interfere? Like, I'm not sure about this one. Marinette is her familiar and he used to follow her orders, but things have clearly changed now that she belongs to the Empress of Discord. So why would a demon like Marinette interfere like this? Maybe. Marinette.
What if...
Okay, wait. Sorry. Has been is not... Has been hiding...
Maybe.
Okay, I'm not sure what this wants from me. Why would Marinette interfere? The mastermind has been controlling Marinette? Is that what you're saying? Or the mastermind is related to a demon, maybe? No. There's a common thread here. First, Beatrice seemed to know about the purple mark that Arya had been investigating. Second, Marinette is preventing Beatrice from seeing it, and he's a demon who wouldn't personally care about the politics of Barbarian Guard. Or the purple mark is related to a demon. Yeah, okay. The purple mark must be related to a demon somehow. That's the only explanation as to why he would prevent her from seeing the mark. But Arya had been investigating murders throughout the Barbarian Guard. Did that mean that her investigation also had something to do with a demon? I suspect that each of the murderers in those cases was acting against their will. And in this case, both Arya and Beatrice were also claiming that they were controlled. How could something demonic control Beatrice? I can explain what happened to Arya and these other individuals, but I didn't know why Beatrice might not have full control of her actions. Because they're a contract, right?
What if...
Beatrice... They did the blood contract, yeah. I recall what was written on Beatrice's contract during her trial. It said what would happen if she failed to claim House Frigga. Her soul, her mind, and her life would all be claimed by the Empress of Discord. What does this tell us about Arya? If this Empress of Discord owned Beatrice's mind, would that mean that it could also control Beatrice against her will? If that were true...
What if...
The mastermind...
What if...
What did this tell us about Arya? Are we saying that Arya also had a blood contract? I don't think she would do that. Maybe. Ariel lost control of their mind due to a blood contract? No, that couldn't be right. Could it? Why would Ariel do that? But it was the conclusion that made the most sense. I couldn't think of any other way someone could control her against her will. And there was one way to find out for certain. The Divine Edict. That same ability I used against Beatrice during her trial. That's a good idea. I didn't fully comprehend it at the time, but I now had some understanding of how it worked. Isn't a dragon going to get mad at us if we do that? Because he hates the theocracy or whatever? I created a copy of blood contract between the contract holder and the demon who created it. Very convenient that we got this spell at the exact time we needed it, by the way. But for it to work, I need to know the name of the contract holder and the name of the demon who drafted it. Which demon did Arya make a blood contract with? The Empress of Discord, right? Right now, I was relying on speculation. But going off what I knew, the demon who made the contract must be... maybe... the so-called Empress of Discord. She was mentioned in Beatrice's blood contract, but I still had no idea who or what she was. I mean, come on, I think you can connect the dots here. However, she was mentioned in the blood contract created by Marinette. Was Marinette her subordinate in some way? That might explain why Marinette didn't want Beatrice to identify the purple mark. I wasn't sure if a pseudonym was enough, but it was the closest I could get with what I knew so far. You've been awfully quiet for a while, Mr. Cuthbert. He's probably imagining new ways to futurely stall for time. You're being really aggro in this trial, huh? I think I finally figured out why the witness and the defendant can't remember anything. It will also explain why they didn't have control of their actions.
Objection!
I get in with this? If you're so convinced of my daughter's conspiracy, why don't you prove it? I knew it. Let us talk, man! Even you don't believe in the nonsense you're spouting. Lord Stillwind, I want to be wrong about this. If I'm right, the implications don't bode well for anyone involved. So instead of telling you, I think it would be better to show you. Empress of Discord, wherever you may hide. It's about time. By the Eye of Horus, I issue upon you a divine edict. Release thy guards and manifest your blood contract with Arya Steelwind. Oh, okay. The blood contract seems strange. Unlike Beatrice's contract, it's only one page. Even stranger, there's a large empty space at the top half of the page. And the empty space at the top half of the page, there are only a few sentences at the bottom. For the intention of this contract, the person who hands this contract to Arya Steelwind will be referred to as the patron. Okay. By signing this contract, Arya Steelwind surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. This contract will bind Arya Steelwind to the patron so long as they both live. Okay, so she's still mind controlled right now, that means. Okay, that's pretty bad. It's signed with Arya's signature. Was the first part of the contract erased? Can they do that? No, this can't be true. This is... Enough, stop prattling amongst yourself.
Objection!
No, this is a sham. This wretch has used magic to create a convincing fabrication. It's genuine, Lucio, I can sense it. It's impossible to falsify something like this. You can't deny the truth anymore, Grand General. There is a way to control someone else's actions. Arya Steelwind wasn't affected by Mage Blight. She was controlled against her will, and her memories were overridden. Okay, but if she signed a contract, she's still kind of responsible, because, like, what the fuck? With this evidence, there's no doubt that Arya did sign a blood contract, but it still doesn't make sense. I agree. Even if Arya was the type of person to make a deal with a demon, there isn't a single part of this contract that benefits her. What would Arya sign this contract? I don't know. I mean...
What if...
I don't know. Because it looked like a normal document? There's a large empty space above the terms of your daughter's contract. When I issue a Divine Edict, it creates a copy of the blood contract that I call for. I think when she was given this contract, it probably looked like something entirely different. So she just didn't read it, she just signed it, and okay. Can you do that? That seems a little bit scummy. Like, I guess. I mean, signing a contract that you don't know what the contract says, I mean, I guess it's magic. Okay, whatever. Something else was written in this empty space to make it look like a normal legal document. Can you do that? That seems kind of like bending the rules. That seems... I get that demons, oh, they're tricky. They try to manipulate you, but like... If just like stuff is written on the contract that isn't true, that's not tricking you. That's just like cheating. Like... okay, whatever. Which means that my client was not in control of her actions that day.
Objection!
Enough of this, all of you. Do you see now, Grand General? Your daughter was not responsible for what happened. That remains to be proven. What are you talking about? She has a blood contract that relinquishes control of her free will. Not having control and not being responsible are two very different things, Cuthbert. What? I'll admit it. The defendant may not have had control of her actions when she murdered the victims. However, she did have full control of herself when she signed this contract. Come on. Are you serious? No one in their right mind would willingly sign a contract like this. And what of Beatrice Frege? Was she in her right mind when she made a contract with the demon Marinade? Okay, but that one had upsides. This one is no upside. It's just, come on. Come on, Cuthbert, you can argue against this. If we can't hold the defender responsible, surely we should also acquit Lady Frege for the murder of her father. Sure, why not? That's already the same thing. I, for one, fail to see the difference. I just explained the difference. A fool made a deal with a demon, and as a result, several esteemed members of the nobility were killed. She's your daughter, Lucio. How does that change anything? He seriously doesn't care if he convicts Arya. What kind of father is he? I wonder if she signed this contract. Where is it? I have too much evidence, dude. Hang on. I need to find yeah, I wonder if she signed this during the marriage meeting she was having with this guy and with the prince. Or the king now, I guess. He seriously doesn't care if he convicts Arya. What kind of father is he? Honestly, this only places more responsibility on her for what happened. I could have accepted if she had been reckless and accidentally induced mage blight. But the signed contract with the demon... Are you stupid? We just said that she didn't know what the contract said. What are you talking about? That only further espouses the need to put her down. She was clearly tricked, Lucio. Is that so? She's an attorney just like you. Would you really sign a contract without carefully inspecting it? Okay, I mean, that is a good point, but like, still, she didn't do it on purpose. Whether it was true foolishness, negligence, or both, the defendant willingly signed a blood contract. He compromised herself, and as a result, 3 people died, and many more were incapacitated. The responsibility falls squarely on her. Wait, even if she willingly signed that contract, that wasn't entirely true. Who else was responsible for Arya's actions? The patron. Lucio, there's clearly someone else to blame for Arya's actions that day. Oh, and who would that be? I'd like to reread my client's blood contract to the court. By signing this contract, Arya still surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. That can only mean one thing. Whoever this patron is, they took control of my client and used her to murder the victims. 1 second. Okay, so is the patron not the Empress of Discord? I guess not necessarily, but we used Divine Edict. When we used Divine Edict, we said it was a contract between Steelwind and the Empress of Discord. But I guess maybe the Empress of Discord just wrote the contract and then someone else gave the contract to her? Maybe? That's right. They could still be out there. None of us is safe until this patron is apprehended. Surely we can't end this trial while every member of the Warwick Garden nobility is in danger. I'm compelled to agree with Mr. Cuthbert. Trickery or not, it's clear someone wished to ill intent. And until we know who this patron is, you can't pass judgment on my client. Not until we know the circumstances under which she signed that blood contract. And what would you have us do, Cuthbert? The contract has no stipulations about proximity or how this mind control works. It does. It says specifically, the patron is the person who hands the contract to Steelwind, so it has to be someone who was there. For all we know, this patron could have murdered the victims all while sitting in their very home. No, they couldn't have. There was a clear intent behind this attack. Even if the patron didn't directly participate in the murders, they definitely had a motive. If Arya was being controlled, then we can analyze her behavior to determine who was controlling her. Or I guess maybe, I mean, I'm just assuming that she signed this contract during the day of the murder, but she could have signed this like a month ago or something, I guess. And they just didn't control her until this very moment. I see. Despite the questions raised, we've clearly made some headway. I believe we should take a brief recess to process these revelations. We haven't done anything. What do you mean? Very well. Okay, well. We stepped outside the Scalelord's lair to get some fresh air. Should I stop now? I'll get back to when we're actually in the courtroom. I did a few stretches and some breathing exercises. Anything to take my mind off of what had been revealed. So let's suddenly sat on the rock near the ruins, our eyes looking down. What are your thoughts on this? Arya had become a close friend of hers over the last few months. She's probably taking this harder than anyone. Oh, I meant the dragon, not about Arya being mind controlled. I knew about that, but what are your thoughts about the fucking dragon? Arya, I'm so sorry. Don't be, She couldn't find the words. She just sighed and sat down next to Celeste. She'd always been stoic, but it was clear even she had her breaking point. I can't imagine what you're feeling right now, but it's not as hopeless as it looks. If we can find out who did this to you, we can still save you. Do you remember if you signed anything recently? No, I don't. Damn it all. For all we knew, it could have been any of the documents she signed while she was doing her job. I still don't understand. I would never be that careless. But as much as I hate to admit it, Lucia was right. You're an attorney like me. We always carefully look over contracts before we sign them. The patron can control your memories too. For all we know, they could have used any number of tactics to coerce you into signing that contract. I suppose that's possible. Arya. As we're deliberating amongst ourselves, the Grand General approached us alone. What are you doing here? Father. Is this his emotions or Arya's? He only glared at Arya silently before walking away. I can't believe him. His actions said otherwise, but I could have sworn I saw something through the eye. Well, no matter what he felt internally, he made it clear that he wouldn't relent. He was my enemy. Whatever his motivations are, I'd overcome him, just like everyone else. We should also head back, Celeste. Right. Okay, well, that recess didn't do much. Okay, I'm gonna stop here for now, even though this was short, but this feels like the best stopping point I'm gonna have for a bit. I'm trying to think of, like, in what way could Arya have been tricked into signing this? Maybe if asked her, maybe if he gave it to her, because she's so, like, enamored with him. Maybe, like, if he told her to sign something, she wouldn't read it. Not sure what else. Can't really think of anything else. Does it make sense if he's the one that was controlling her? He's like secretly super evil? Maybe. The people that were killed were Pierce, Sybil, and Lloyd. I guess why Sybil and Lloyd were killed, because they were like powerful, like heads of noble houses. But I really don't understand why Pierce was killed, because he was already getting executed in like a month, right? And he was killed in the same way he killed, in the same way he killed Celeste's father. So I wonder if it was like revenge or something. I forgot about you. This would be really, really boring if you were the killer, so you're probably safe. Honestly, it could be you. You're probably my best guess right now. Because, like, okay, it's not you, it's not you. I would be extremely surprised if it were you, but it's technically possible, I guess. That would be a crazy twist. No, they wouldn't do that. There's no way they would do that. You are not here, so I'm just ignoring you. It's not you. There's no way it's you. There's no way it's you. There's no way it's you. It's not you. It's not you. No. I thought like maybe they killed each other somehow, but no. We saw the scene of them running away from Arya. It's not you. Could be you. I have a hard time imagining it's you. That's not you. Maybe it's you, but that would be kind of lame. Could be you. It's not you. I mean, it could be. Actually, that would be pretty funny if the fucking dragon was the killer. If the Scaled Lord was the culprit. Maybe. Okay, so I guess our three possible culprits. Because, like, I'm assuming whoever the culprit is, they worked with Eris, right? Because Eris wrote the contract, and then whoever is working with Eris gave the contract to Arya. So if that's the case, then the culprit has to be you, or you. I feel like those are the only three possible choices. Also you, I guess, but that, like, you're definitely bottom of the list. From least to most likely, I would go, okay, first of all is everyone else. Then it's you. Then you. And between these two, I think you're probably more likely to be the culprit. Because if the culprit is someone who we just met in the final chapter, that would be kind of lame. Maybe, it could be. I mean, definitely could be. I mean, either one of these two is pretty likely, I think. This one, if he were the killer, would be like a big twist because he's been really nice to us and he seems like a nice guy. But he definitely could be the culprit. He could be like secretly the Joker, you know? Finally, my machinations have been revealed, like, you know, that kind of deal. You are way less likely than these two, but still possible as like a twist, like, oh my god, the dragon's the killer. That could be something. And you are like way at the bottom because like we don't know you, and if you're the killer, that would be really lame. But it definitely could be you. You know necromancy, and there were traces of necromancy on one of the bodies, right? Yeah, on this one. That was probably just mend wounds, so that doesn't mean much. Okay, anyway. I'm stopping here for now. Fun trial so far. Yeah, I'll bet you saved. Okay. Yep, see you.